Hello everyone. Today I have a bit of a different video for you, and as you can hear, this time you get a commentary with my actual voice. Now, I played a DesMoines round the other day, and that's what I'm gonna talk about. At first, as always, we have a look at the matchmaking itself. It's tier 8, 9 and 10. 1 submarine and no CV, gladly. As CVs for DesMoines are, well, pretty bad. In DesMoines you want to play around islands, and getting spotted, yeah, it's not really great. 4 DDs, pretty average nowadays. Just the one sub, but I mean, submarines, they can fuck you over all the time. So that's something we have to look out for. Minotaur can be scary in our broadside, but to be honest, in the Minotaur you don't want to fight a DesMoines. DesMoines AP is just so good against the Mino. Alvaro de Bazan can be kind of scary if he gets kind of close in our broadside with the funny button and AP loaded. He can pretty much get sits. Wouldn't be too great. Trom can be a bit annoying with the airstrikes, but not too much of a problem. I play my DesMoines with the legendary module, which means I'm really nimble. I can maneuver more like a DD when being around islands, which you will see later. Which means Trom is not really something I'm scared about. The BBs, well, Preußen can overmatch us everywhere, which is a problem. And that's also why I'm not gonna stay on the 9-10 line. You can play DesMoines open water. Not really recommended, but you can. In this case, the 7 line with these really decent islands is something I would really prefer. And that's why I'm leaving the 9-10 line this time around. And leaving my DDs pretty much on their own. If I would have like some kind of smoke DD in my division or something, someone I can actually communicate with, that would be something different. Then you can play kind of aggressive on the outside, but not this time around. I was spotted briefly there, but well, you want to use your radar when you're pretty sure you can actually get value out of it. In this case, I want most of the C cap in my radar before using it. And well, most of the time these will be around the cap at the islands, and I want to have those in range before using those islands. I'm gonna stay right now here, are really strong if you get there, and that's like the most scary part, actually getting there. And I guess overmatch BBs and CVs can give you quite a hard time. Now, Preußen is pretty much the only thing that can really punish me here. Any kind of torpedoes won't be able to reach me because of the islands around me. And I would have Hydro as well. Which means this is a really strong position for DesMoines. The Mecha not really knowing what to do here. Stuck in my radar, and the Allende next to me has a follow-up radar. Lightning in the cap can even Hydro him. And Z42 being on the outside, which means we have a lot of firepower against them here. And we're gonna get a really early kill here on the DD, which is always nice. In the DesMoines you want to try to be unspotted if you can. I mean, you have a bit of an armor, but nowadays against all the overmatch and stuff, it's not really worth anything. Which means you want to play more like a light cruiser nowadays. And the Preußen in this case, well, he can do quite a bit of damage against us. But I think he shouldn't be able to lob us, even if he would have been spotted. And that's why these islands here are really strong. You can only really get spotted from like the middle, from B. But like there's no one from the enemy team, which makes this even easier to play. And I guess from the 9-10 line, once they get kind of deep, they can spot you, but I mean, I was spotted for a second from the tromp there, but I'm dark right away, which is really, really nice for us. Getting the Amagi out, don't know why he's trying to push there, but good for us. Now 5 minutes have been passed, and well, we have decent control over C. We lost our lightning, which is unfortunate, but nothing too disturbing right now. We have B safely under control, which means we will have a decent point income from the B cap. A looks pretty decent as well for now. I mean, they have an Iowa and Minotaur and the submarine there, which means they have quite a bit of firepower still on the 1-2 line, and they will come to push at some point. And well, I'm not sure how good our people will be able to hold back, which means we will have to go forward. But I mean, as long as you can shoot in the DesMoines, you're all good most of the time. The Alvaro trying something, I'm not really sure what, but I mean, close up against the DesMoines, there's nothing you want to do. Like 5.5k from one volley, and you have a base reload of 5.5 seconds. Like in a DD, you want to be as far away from the DesMoines as you possibly can. If you're like a French destroyer or something, you're pretty fast, or some kind of. You can try to fight it, but you have to be like 11 or 12 km or further away from it, as the shells are kind of floaty nowadays. And well, hitting stuff further away than like especially DDs, small targets which tend to move fast, it's kind of hard to hit. But in this case, at like 5-6 km, it's really no problem to hit. And well, 3 hits and 3k damage. This Alvaro is done and dusted. I actually thought I would hit the trump there, but well, I did hit him, but wasn't enough to kill him. But that's what secondary armament is for, right? At this point it's, well, not really over, but we have a really decent lead. Going open water against like any overmatched BB that can overmatch you is like not really good advice, but at this time didn't really see any point of not doing it. We have to deal some kind of damage against the poison, and there's nothing that can actually fight it right now. We will get C, we will keep B for still a bit of time. We might lose A at some point, but as long as we have 2 caps against 1, we are all fine. You also see I'm moving left and right constantly, which is, well, pretty basic. You want to evade as much as possible, and poison dispersion is pretty bad. At the same time, if you try to stay nose in, you have the advantage of giving the smallest profile possible to the poison in this case. At the same time, if he hits you, especially on the nose, it's kind of likely for him to actually get a citadel, which is like, you don't want that. That's why I'm trying to, every once in a while, show a bit of my side, in, well, the hopes that if he's aiming like center mass, he will hit my side plating, overmatch it and get a pen, but no citadel. As you can see here, taking a pen or 2 every once in a while is honestly fine. Of course it's really risky being out here against the Preuß in this case, but I'm feeling pretty confident still. And I mean, DesMoines has a really good, well, HE and AP DPM. Minotaur showing up on our sides. Well, I have to angle a bit to him, as Minotaur AP with improved pan angles, they do hurt quite a bit, but as you can see, any kind of AP against the Minotaur hurts him even more. And well, heavy AP of DesMoines and stuff, really brutal against the Minotaur. Giving us the Kraken here, I mean, was a pretty quick match overall, but the position we had made a really big difference in this case. Now it's really only cleanup time anymore. We have 900 points against, well, after our Bismarck died, 100, now 50 points. Which means once this poison gets down, the game will be over. Giving us the 6th kill of the game. Now quickly checking the end screen results. In the end, I mean, we shot pretty much from the get-go, which means the game lasted for about 10 minutes, which means, I mean, we had to get into position for about like 2 minutes. So we were able to shoot for like 8 minutes consecutively. And that's where the damage is coming from. 180k, really solid game, 6 kills. Sure, I mean, especially the Trump was a snack and a half, but I mean, we take it. Besides that, nothing too special here. I mean, if you ever shoot HE against the Minotaur in a DesMoines, you're doing something wrong. XP wise, I mean, 6 kills are 6 kills, therefore you will be at the top most of the time. In this case, being in a tier 10 against tier 8s and stuff, you will get less experience overall, but I mean, still quite a big margin towards the Allende, who did a pretty good job, to be honest. Damage wise, I mean, Minotaur and Merker were pretty fast kills, to be honest. The Alvaro, no idea why he pushed there, but it cost him his life. Before he pushed, I could have used my radar earlier again. I believe it was off cooldown, but I tend to keep my radar until I can use it myself. And as I had still targets to shoot, I wasn't really thinking about it. It was a bit of a in the zone there. If you can use the AP in a DesMoines, you should use it, to be honest. I could have used, especially earlier against the Preußen, could have used more of the AP. The idea was to get his DCP out of the way, to enable our teammates to possibly get some permanent fires on him. Which wasn't the case, I believe, but I mean, we tried. About credits and XP, I mean, nothing out of the ordinary. Tier 10 is not really the biggest credit making tier nowadays, so looking into my build, actually nothing too special to be seen here. Main berry mod 1, pretty standard. If you have it, you should always take radar modification on almost any radar ship. Better accuracy, pretty much self-explanatory. Propulsion, pretty much a no-brainer on almost every cruiser. Same with concealment. I mean, if you're not really playing any type of, well, lighthouse builds, why would you take anything else? Like, get your concealment and be better. On the 6th slot, I mean, if you don't have the legendary module, you can take, I would say, 95% of the time it should be reload. especially against like tier 11 super ships, it can be really tough to actually use it sometimes, as you're really, well, hindered in terms of range. 15.8 is really not a lot nowadays, which is why DesMoines and also Salem work way better if you have a small DD with you. So much more options. Besides that, I mean, every once in a while you will think of, well, I would like to have more range now. So whatever works for you best. Signals are pretty much whatever. If you have it, you have it. If not, they are just little benefits. Besides, like detonation flag, I would always put a detonation flag on. It's really annoying to, well, get killed by RNG. Now, the captain, I mean, if you have Halsey, you should use him on any kind of ship, but I mean, you have only one option to put him on a tech 3 ship, so put it on the one you're playing the most. Probably it will be Montana or DesMoines, most likely. Maybe Louisiana, whatever you're playing the most. To the build, you don't really need RPF. It's just leftover from the last CV season, I believe. And I'm not really willing to spend my Commander XP right now. Which means you can take off RPF and take top grade gunner. More DPM, never really a bad thing, especially if you have already good DPM. Getting a percentage buff is really insane. Besides that, nothing out of the ordinary. I'm taking HP as, well, if you have more HP, you live longer. If you live longer, you can shoot more. If you shoot more, you have more impact and damage. That's pretty much it. As utility, I mean, Superintendent is no-brainer. AR, same thing, and concealment. If you don't need it, like, you can take off PT and get more duration on your radar, but honestly, having PT is really decent. Right, now, I hope I was able to show a bit of a DesMoines game here. If you have any questions, leave it down below, feel free. At the same time, tell me how you like it. Was it actually more helpful? Is it better for you if I actually talk about the game? Or is it more, well, do you have a bigger benefit if I have the different kind of commentary by editing it afterwards? Let me know. And, well, have a good day and till next time.